Hello. I am so excited to be here with you today. I am Jill DeWit, co-founder of Land Academy and House Academy. And I was just thinking, for those of you who know me and have been listening to our podcast or following my partner and I for a while, we've come a long way. I started doing some of these Facebook Lives a couple years ago in my office, and I remember it was in the summer, and I was sweating. And now I have like an amazing team and a full production, and I have so much great stuff to share, and I'm so excited to be here. I'd like to take a moment first before we get started. I want to see who I'm speaking with. If you're a beginner, an intermediate, or an advanced, if you would take a moment and put it in the comments or wherever you're supposed to kind of notate what level you're at. So just to give us an idea of where you're coming from. But no matter what, I know what I have to share today will speak to all of you at every level, because it's universal information that I'm going to share today. I'm very, very excited. By the way, I want to say, even though today on episode 1, getting a kickstart on my 2021 New Year's resolution. My resolution this year is to help, aid, promote, fund whatever is needed for women investors. That's what I'm here to do. I've spent years in our company. Personally, I'm focusing on women. So that's what this is for. Men, you are welcome to be here. The reason I want to say that is, even if you're a man, you're welcome to be here. I encourage you to be here. I'm sure you're going to learn some information. If anything, you will learn better how we operate. And if you don't have a woman on your team or as a partner, then you might, after you get to watch us and get to know us for a little bit. So let me go ahead. I want to get started with today's presentation. I have a little bit of a frozen on my end here, FYI. 1 second. We're good? Okay. So I want to make sure we're seeing the first slide. This is Property Flip with Jill DeWit, the Land Edition. Is it working? Hold, please. It is working. I can't follow the slides if you can't see the slides. Sorry. I can wing it, but I won't be able to see any of the comments. Thank you for your patience. My tech team is going to update me real quick here. Now we're good. Okay, we're back. Thank you. This is what we lovingly call beach Wi-Fi. The good news is you can see behind me. By the way, I'm coming to you live from Hermosa Beach, California, and you can watch people riding their bikes and enjoying the water and the sunshine and the fun it's called the Strand behind me. But now and then we have a little bit of a beach Wi-Fi situation. It is what it is, and that's okay. This is my brand new show, and this is my phase 1 of helping women investors. The show is called Property Flip with Jill DeWit. We're going to talk about all kinds of property. It's going to be focused primarily on land, because that's the number one thing that I do. But we can talk about houses. We can talk about all different property types. And today we're going to talk more about why women are excellent investors. And I would argue we make better investors. And I will explain more about that here in a minute. So here's the agenda for today. I'm going to share with you a little bit of DNA. It's the facts. There are a lot of things that, as women, in our nature, that just makes us better and makes our days run smoother and really good at wearing a lot of hats. Second, I'm going to talk a few minutes about why women kill it in the investment community. There's things that we do better. Third, I'm gonna share the secret weapon that only women possess, and I'm sure you women watching, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but I will share it for the men and everyone else. I'm gonna give an examples of a deal that got done because of me being a woman and not a male partner. That happens. So, who am I again, and why am I here? I have been personally a private investor now for over 10 years, and my partner, Stephen Jack Vitala, has been doing this for over 25 years. In 2015, we created Land Academy. We've been investors for years, doing everything great. Things were going along smoothly. Some of our customers and our land buying clients said, "Hey, will you teach us your business?" And we decided, sure, and we did. We created Land Academy and shared our business model to help others, start and grow their own land businesses and then create deal partners for ourselves. And as it says, it worked great. And now taking it to the next level. I've been helping the planet. Now I want to really personally hyper focus and help women. And I really want to promote women and help you reach your goals, whatever they are, in real estate investing or not. So, what is it about us? I know it's science. If I throw a little bit of science in here, maybe, humor me. But it's important to note that we are less affected. This is a quote. I actually did some research. I even, as you can see, took the time to look up and properly cite the reference. But there was a study done, and this was March 2020, and it was written by this researcher and this neurologist, and they said that women are less affected by interference when carrying out certain tasks than men, and hormones play a part in this discrepancy. The hormone estrogen may play a role in women's ability to perform two tasks at the same time. Okay, that's boring, so let's move on. But again, I wanted to make that point. What does this really mean? What are the results of this DNA and why and how we make up different? The big picture is this: we are better at juggling tasks, and it's very crucial when you're starting a new business. Here are some examples that we as women, can handle, and these are things that just happen at the same time as a new investor. You're starting your company, whatever it is. If you're in some kind of real estate investor like me, what are all the main things you got going on before you even, buy a property? You got to set up, your website. You're setting up your phone, your business, your legal things. You need your website, by the way, to sell a property, and you also need a website when people are going to look you up and want to do business with you. You need that for accountability. You're choosing an area to buy property. You're fielding inbound calls from motivated sellers. You're arranging photographers. You're posting property. You're tracking escrow, deeds, properties. There's so much more. So my point in this first step one is that there's so much going on. It is easier for us women to handle this and juggle all these things, and it doesn't ruffle our feathers. I just got off a call it was about an hour ago. I'm very fortunate to, as part of Land Academy, be able to associate with other like-minded women in a small community. I created Land Academy Ladies, and we started meeting a couple weeks ago, and we meet every Tuesday at 1 o'clock Pacific time. It's our time, no guys. We do video, chat, Zoom, and we talk about this stuff. And I am so amazed and so impressed about the deals that they're doing, their goals that they've got coming up, and how well they handle things. It is so much fun, and that's part of why I'm here today too. I'm here to, gosh, find more people for our group because we're really preparing ourselves to do even bigger and better deals together in 2021. and I'm here to encourage and invite others, uh, not only here in this environment on this page that I'm gonna do every week at every Tuesday at this time going forward, but if you wanna be in even a more closed-knit group that we have that, it's just phenomenal. So the second thing I wanna talk about is, okay, why do we kill it in the investment community? You know what? It's true. Our voices, most of us, not all of us, I will just say that, but we all will agree that most women, our voices just naturally put you at ease. You can tell when, we're smiling in our voices. You can tell on the phone when I'm mad. You can tell if I'm angry. You don't have to see my face. You can tell. We are the best at talking with buyers and sellers because of this and getting them to sell to us. And this is something I'm happy to expand on and share more in later sessions going forward because I can really teach you how to be a pro here. I have fine-tuned when people call, one of the things that we do in my business is we send out offers to buy property. And sometimes they're low by design, and sometimes they're low offers, maybe even on accident. And I get some heated phone calls, and I have gotten it down now to how to quickly diffuse, disarm, put them at ease, and talk to sellers to find out, all right, you know, I know you got my offer. I know it's not happy. Let's get past that. Do you even really want to sell? I set out to make him my best friend, and it's easier for me as a woman to talk to these people and really calm them down. I have literally had sellers, one time, I'll never forget, a guy from New York got an offer on a property of mine and called me mad. I was just as sweet as can be. He said what he needed to say in the way that he needed to say it and hung up the phone. Not 2 seconds later, called me right back and apologized. And then we had a great conversation, and, we, started open the dialogue about buying his property. So, you might think, "So would you yell at me?" Y That's one of the things that we do best. Now, the third thing I want to share, the secret weapon, and I've always known this. As a woman, you know this. We have a secret weapon that only we possess that really helps us in life, in business, in picking a partner, in making decisions, in starting companies, in buying properties, in picking counties, and spending money, in buying a house, all of that. And my story is there's a person in my life that I'll never forget when he figured this out. He's 6'5", he's a day trader, and he worked, years ago on the floor, in the Mercantile in Chicago, and here he is with this 5'3" foot woman coworker, and he would tell me about, she was his toughest competition to get the deals and get the trades. It wasn't a day trader at the time, he was a trader on the floor. So, anyway, and he was telling me his experience about, "I don't know how she picks them," kind of a thing. "How does she do this? This woman's amazing." And the decisions and what she would buy and when she would sell and things like that, and it just always stuck with me. And that was probably, oh gosh, I'm gonna say 15 years ago, and it's the day trader's my brother who went off to do all kinds of other wonderful, amazing things. It's phenomenal, but I loved his story. So here's what it is, and we're born with this, uh, but we learn how to develop it, and we had to, perfect it and use it over the years of experience, and what it is, it's our instinct. It is our gut instinct. That's it. Women are naturally best at picking up on nuances and spotting potential risks or problems, and because of that, we make better investors. You know, if you have a wife or a partner or, a mom, you know, I'm sure you've watched them or experienced them taking a step back, breathing before making, decisions, and we just have this it's a kinda I always point to my belly, well, it's where your gut is, but, we make these really good decisions. So, that's our secret weapon, and that, by the way, is the reason if I would highly recommend if you don't have a woman, on your team, on your staff, in your company, in your life, get one. It'll save you probably a lot of money. Um, and the fourth thing I was gonna share is just kind of funny example of a deal that got done because of me. I have a lot, and I was sitting here yesterday, I was putting all the finishing touches on this presentation today, and I was thinking about a recording. I have recordings of callers and all kinds of funny things that I could share, but one was just a cute little thing that I put this in Facebook when was this? November, a couple weeks ago. I put this in Facebook because it just cracked me up. I thought this was the best compliment I ever got from the sweet, sweet old gentleman that told me, "Jill, you talk real sweet while you're committing robbery." And it was about, I'm buying a bunch of properties from him. I'm buying like 8 properties from him, and they're ready to go, and some include wells, and it's really a great transaction, and he's just at that point where he's done and wants to get rid of the properties. He knows he could call a broker, a land broker. He could, put them online himself. He could put them on Craigslist. He could do stuff. There's a lot of ways that he could sell his properties, but he got my offer. We connected, and he wants to close with me. And I'm making it really, really easy for him. And that's stuff that we just do best. So I'd like to go ahead now. I want to open it up to everyone. I'd like to answer questions, and I look at all the love. I'm so happy multitasking and reading things. That's a really good one. We do also tend to pay more attention to detail. So between the 2 of us in the legal world, my partner Steven and I, he's got the accounting back, so because I know how many transactions we've done together. So, he's really good, but when it comes to sitting down and poring over the last few details of a contract, that's my job. I pick up on things, now and then. Thank you. These are great comments too. Thank you. Chris McManus wrote, "This may be because of our emotional intelligence that is connecting us to folks in general. It's important in our business relationships when people feel connection, trust, and empathy follow." That is so true. I love that. And that's what we do. Um, in my opinion, women are more inclusive and bring people along with us in business. You're right, Chris. I'm glad you're here. Chris was on my call an hour and a half ago. Yeah. Chris and I are doing a big deal together, by the way. Speaking of which, truth time. Chris and I am like kind of waiting for the phone call. We got one guy that we got a like not really a tire kicker, but he's about to plop down a lot of money. It's over 7 figures. So I would want to walk the property. It's a little too big for that, but I would want to do maybe another flyover too. So I understand. This is good. Happy you're here, Chris. All right. Looking for some more. Please ask questions. Tell me what you want. Oh, you're welcome, Elizabeth. I'm glad you're here. Before we go, I want to also too, I'm thinking of it. I want to know what you want to talk about as we go forward. This is, I'll talk about anything. You want to talk about details on houses, you wanna talk about numbers, you wanna talk about picking areas, you wanna talk about what this whole blind offer thing's about, not just about women investing. So I wanted show number 1 to really highlight and showcase how wonderful women investors are and what I know we bring to the table. And then I am excited for there's so many directions that we could take this show, and I wanna know from you what you want. I know a lot of people too that are watching this may not know Land Academy. I know people have found me and us in other, groups and other audiences. So I'd love to hear whatever you, want to talk about, and I'd like to hear what your hangups are. One of the things I've noticed a lot I'm in a really awesome Facebook group. I think it's just women I think it's just women real estate investors, it's something like that, and there's 15,000 of us in there and growing rapidly, and one of the main issues I see, which is universal, is money. And I just addressed a comment today about money, and money should never hold you back. If you've got a really great deal, the deal will speak for itself. And what do I mean by a great deal? Whatever you're doing, whether it's you're doing what I do primarily, which is I buy a piece of dirt, uh, I buy it for 20,000 because it's worth 60 or 70,000 today. I sell it for 40 or 50,000. Everybody wins. That's what my number one thing. But whether you're doing something like that or even a house, which we do also. Say you buy a house, maybe in your area, a beautiful fixed up house is $300,000 and unremodeled and, 20 years old. Now, all know you can put $80,000 into it, and now we can sell it for, I'm just thinking of some numbers here, closer to $300,000 because that's really what it's worth. If you come to me or you come to anyone who has money and says, "Here's the deal. Here's what's going on in this neighborhood. Here's what I found. I need $120,000 tomorrow to lock in this deal." They bought this house new, they lived there 30 years, kids are all gone, they went to college, they don't wanna remodel the kitchen, they don't wanna clean out the garage, they love I will do this deal all day long, and so will so many people that I know. So I wanna make sure the planet knows that there's money out there, especially right now. There's a lot of people out there with money, they're looking to invest it in this kind of a thing. And so you just all you gotta do is bring it to us. And then if you wanna turn around and flip it and not do anything to it, that's my favorite thing, by the way. When I'm doing a house, I'm gonna buy it for 120. I'm gonna really sell it for like, I don't know, 150, 160 to somebody else, let them put the work into it, and then sell it, and then make even more profit than me. That's my favorite thing. I have done renovations. I am not a contractor. I don't like that. I don't wanna swing a hammer. I love the decorating part of it. That's just like a hobby for me, and that's fun, but, I'm happy to just pass over. I'll make it beautiful and move on. So, what I was saying is money should never hold you back. So don't be afraid to go look for deals. I want you to look for deals. If you're new, I know some of the people here in this group are beginners. If you are brand new and getting into real estate investing, just go out and find the deal. Don't worry about business cards and that kind of a thing. And my number one way to get deals, by the way, is direct mail. It will always it always works. It always pays for itself. So let me see here. I see some comments. I'm looking for. Bear with me. This is for. It's a little hard to read. I'm looking here. Cecilia, I think it is. I'm gonna try to catch up to the comment. I can't quite see. Oh, picking. I see. couple from YouTube, some good points. Here we go. I'd like to know where is a good hello. Hi, Carly Spears. Like to know a good place to learn best about deed language when creating a deed. Well, um, I use Deed Perfect and or uh, all of the deeds. I know you have deeds, Carly Spears, that we have shared with you for years and years and years that you can go back and look at. So I'm a good fan of copying the deed before me. I don't need to reinvent the wheel, and I don't wanna set up when I'm doing a deed. Let me back up in here and explain a little bit what Carly is doing. In my world, we sometimes do transactions that need to either happen really fast, especially at the end of the year, people wanna cash out, or they're small. It might be a couple $1,000 deal where if I'm buying a property for $1,000 and selling it for $3,000, it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to spend $1,200, or whatever it is on escrow, because there goes the majority of my profit. So in my community, we have access, all of my peers, all my associates, we all use all kinds of tools and resources to do our own due diligence and go back and check chains of title ourselves. So I can see that, wow, this guy has owned it for 35 years. I can pull the reports I need to see that there's no liens on it. And it's, we can confirm all that too. And then we might do the transaction ourselves. So Carly's saying, well, I'm making some deeds. I need a little bit about what kind of deed I use. Do I warranty deed, special warranty deed, or even just some of the language on there. So I want to use the deed, which is called the vesting deed, that's in place right now. And that's all. That's really what I do. The only thing I might do is change if it's a warranty deed, I'll make it a special warranty deed. So, and we can talk about that more later. But just copy the guy before you and use the same verbiage. I even use if there's a mistake in there, say the legal description had something misspelled, I don't change it. I keep it going. So the most that I need to know about when I'm doing a deed in this situation is if I'm selling to a LLC or I'm buying from an LLC, selling to an individual, husband and wife going to joint tenants, that kind of a thing. And it's so easy just to really, search, just do a easy Google search and it'll tell you the different ways to take title and what they mean. And that's really the only changes that I'm making. I know this may sound crazy to many of you, like, what do you mean you guys are doing your own deeds? But it's just like titling a car. When you really take a step back, it doesn't have to be a packet this big like we're used to when we're buying a house, and most of the time, the packets are that big for 2 reasons. 1, there's a real estate agent involved, and 2, there's a lender. So both of those situations, they have requirements. They have documents they have to, include, disclose, everything like that. But when I, sell you my lawnmower out of the garage, I'm not required to, write up a bill of sale and charge you 30 whatever cents, and report that kind of thing. It's so, not maybe not the best example, but what I'm trying to say is you when you buy a piece of property, I can sell it to you and we can write it on a s I could write it on a, whatever sticky note, a purchase agreement if I need it to even open escrow, and that's all that's needed. You don't have to go through all the hoopla, so that's why we're talking deeds. And we do transactions of all sizes, okay? We do everything from, a couple $1,000s to hundreds of thousands of dollars and even stuff into the millions. I'm watching for I look, we have some good questions coming up here. Hello, Brandon Wong. How about how to convince your wife to be more involved? Excellent question. Okay, here's what I would do, Brandon. I would talk with her first about the parts of this business she likes to do or would like to do. I wouldn't say, "Babe, I hate deeds. Babe, I hate posting property. Babe, I hate this," and just kinda hand it to her. I would find out what she's interested in and build a position for her around that. And then after you get her going, get her excited, maybe she likes talking on the phone, maybe she doesn't. Maybe she likes communicating social media, maybe she doesn't. I know people it's really interesting that in our, companies, Steven, AKA Jack, he's the behind the scenes guy. He's the picking the counties, doing the data, getting the offers priced, getting them in the mail, and then it falls on me for all the talking and the, getting the deals done, falling through escrow, and it really goes on, me, and then filters down to my staff that does the work basically. But it's my side of the sheet, his side of the sheet. And it's interesting how it's not gender specific. So, Brandon, you might be the talker in your family, and your wife might be the, "Hey, you got me, but I'm gonna be the one, making sure our tracking's up to date and, making sure the properties get posted," whatever it is. I'd say find out what she likes and go from there. I would also say, Brandon, because I know you wanna she can be involved in our oh, this is good. She can be involved in our, Land Academy Ladies group too, if you wanna me to lure her in that way. This is great. So this has been our poll so far. So we have 8%, uh, of expert. Welcome. Glad you're here. We have 23% intermediate level investing, and then we have 69% beginner. If you're a beginner because you've been investing in other properties and have never done just rural vacant land like my main gig, you are in for a treat because the residential, really commercial, and gosh, if you do industrial, those are the harder types of properties. When you take a step back and see what I do, there's a buyer and there's a seller, and we agree on a price, and I buy it, and I pay cash. It's really kinda how it goes, and then I turn around and I take great pictures, and I write a beautiful description, and I make sure it's wonderful and dreamy, and then all I gotta do is get it in front of the right person, and I just make sure it's posted for sale all over the planet for that right person to find it. It's reach. I just gotta reach that one person. I know it's price right? Because I wouldn't have bought it if it wasn't. And then now I'm the seller and they're the buyer, and I make it really easy for them to buy the property and own it and go camp on it and live on it and love it. That's it. You this is the best industry, and it's so interesting to me that a lot of people don't get it. I think sometimes it's almost like, "Jill, this sounds a little too easy." Okay, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of moving parts, however, that's, the big picture and how we do things. Thank you, Jen good point. Chris thinks you would have an abundance mentality. Oh, that's beautiful. You know what? Thank you for saying that, Chris, and Jen for talking about this. This is really important going into 2021, and that's partially why I wanted to start this in 2020. I wanna start thinking about 2021 now. I want January 1 to roll around and us already have a game plan, be focused, be working on deals or, building your business, starting your business, improving your business, whatever it is, so you are hitting the ground running on January 21. Okay, I have a big question here. Okay, Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Lisa Raposo says, "Picking counties is a struggle for me. Any advice?" Pick counties that you know. Start, when you're picking a county to send out offers, no matter the property type, Start with a place that you know well. Even if it's somewhere that you vacationed as a kid, you guys would always go camp there, you know how dreamy it is, you know, that you have a love for it, you know, start with that, and then start digging into your due diligence, such as, "All right, is this priced, that makes sense to me? You know, can I afford to invest in here? And even if I can't, again, don't worry about it because you got people like me who will fund it for you, so that's not an issue." Make sure there's not too much for sale. I wanna see a healthy movement of property being posted for sale and sold. I don't want a ton that are sitting there with, 900 days on market, then I'd s move on. And I don't want you to go look in an area that when you pull it up on Zillow and you just click on the land box and you see, for sale property, it's it's like chicken pox. You can it's more than red than not, then move a different area. And then what I want you to do after that, Lisa, is you got a good area, go a little bit further out. Just get a little bit, out of that area. Go to the next zip code over or the next county over until you find one that checks all those boxes. And then some other boxes are gonna be, uh, can you get the data that you need? Can you do your due diligence when the sellers call back? Is it in Neighbor Scoop or Parcel Fact, wherever you look it up and you're, reviewing the property? Is the county easy to work with? There's all those other little things you gotta think about too. So, great questions. Brandon Wong says, "Jeanette." Hello, Janet. Oops, excuse me, Chris here. What is your take on Chris McManus wrote, "What is your take on men and women? What is your take on how men and women differ when it comes to negotiating prices for the sale of properties, if you do this at all?" All right, Chris, I have the funniest thing on this one. This is good. When I was first getting into this business and Jack was handing the torch over to me, there were a few times that he didn't really realize how efficient I was. And I could blow down a list of properties and get through a list of sellers that reached out to us very quickly. And sometimes I wouldn't even update my notes so fast. I'm like, "I'm on a roll, man. I'm calling all these sellers back. We're making a deal." I'm telling them, "Give me an hour. I'll call you back with the details, how it's gonna close, where the notary's gonna, come from," whatever it is. And so once in a while, dear Jack, I had done because we had this great system. Jack would This is when I was first learning the business. I'm brand new, but I'm reckless. I'm crazy. I'm not afraid to pick up the phone. I'm not afraid to say, "Here's what I'm paying. This is it. Take it or leave it," and then make it happen. So Jack would put in his notes, "I love it at 3,000. I would go up to 4,000, whatever it is." And I'm like, "All right." So what I would see is how my mind rolls. "You love it at 3,000?" Always tried to come in under what he did just 'cause I could. So, dear Jack is, bless his heart, and he will admit this as well, is not as good as me when it comes to these situations. And more than one time, I would come down and find, like, we were on different floors, and it was back in our home at this time, and I would find out, "What did you just do? You just undid what I did. I had it for 2,800 and you just got it for 3,500." And he's like, "Oh, no." And of course, the seller's not gonna say anything. So we quickly decided that who's in charge of that, and we never work on the same deal together. He doesn't even get involved in that anymore, and it's just me. So he's good. He's really good. Number 1, he hates negotiating, and he doesn't like talking on the phone. He loves talking. You know him. He loves talking. We wouldn't have a podcast for 5 years if the man didn't love talking, but he loves talking about certain things, and he doesn't love talking to sellers. I do. I love it. So his way, and I I have kind of experience with other men as well, are not as comfortable as getting to know people a little bit, getting in the sellers' heads, figuring out where they're coming from, so we can be on the same page, talk openly about money, and reach a deal that everybody's happy with. And that's what I love to do. I don't mind hearing their backstory, and I listen for it. So one of the things that I think that I do as a woman that's different from a man when it comes to getting deals done, if I'm talking to gentlemen, Like my little Facebook post a few minutes ago, I picked on his age. I picked up on his wife's, health issues. I'm not using them against him. I just know where he's coming from, and I can understand. This guy this guy's looking for someone to make it easy for him. He's not looking for, a lot of paperwork, and he really wants someone to hold his hand through the whole process. I can do that. So, and then and the flip side is also true where, someone that just don't wanna talk, let's just make a deal, get it over with, whatever. I can mirror that also. So that's the thing. We can pick up on these things and we can mirror conversations, I think, be just by who we are, by being women. It's kinda like, as a mom, I can have a conversation right here, and I can hear what's going on over there. I know what's going on over there, and I can see someone getting in the fridge that they shouldn't be or whatever it is, those kind of things. Awesome question. Uh, I'm looking for some more notes here. Oh, okay, jumped in the notes. Let's see. It's good. So I'll talk about, from YouTube. Hello, Lucas Lands. He said, "My wife is interested in the women's only group. How does she participate? Is it a weekly call? Our Land Academy membership is in my name. She's a partner in my business." Yep. So if anyone's on this show, I would say two parts. This is this is part A for everyone. Then we do a lot of course, women land investing, tips, tricks, help at landacademy.com. So Lucas, just let my team know and give my team just a name, email we'll have. Give us her email address so she'll get the invite and phone number, please. And we'll make sure she's included in the group. It's phenomenal. Call scripts. We have those. So Chelsea wrote, "Hi, Jill. Where can I find call scripts? Thank you." I have some in our, I know I've shared them in the Land Academy community. So check your resources there, but because I know there's a lot, I know that they are in there. So awesome. This is good. What is your best advice on advertising and marketing to boost sales? This is from Julia Maud here, posted in Facebook. We just talked about this as well. Everywhere. You need to boost your sales, you really need two things. You need a stellar posting, which is great photographs. And I mean, I want blue sky, I want your property, whatever type it is, whether it's a house or just a a piece of land. I want the best angle. I want blue sky, and you can describe this to photographers when you send them out. This is what we do. In my world, we buy property all over the country, sight unseen. I hire photographers to go out and take pictures, and if it's you flying in and all that. So I want that information with a great description, every last detail about the property, everything you know about the property in there. And then you need to market it to the planet. I want it posted, I should say. I want every social media you can think of, and the two latest you've, just heard about, like, I don't know, TikTok we've been doing for a little bit for a while. We've been talking about that. Parlor just came on. Parlor's doing some stuff like that. Nothing is crazy. I know people have sold property thanks to Instagram ads, TikTok, Parlor, Facebook, YouTube, their own website, eBay, and then you can even fine tune it even more. And this is what I would really recommend when you're talking about advertising and marketing. When you think about who you think, who's going to be the end user, okay, well, I know right there who we need to market this to. I need everybody in a couple hour drive of that property, and you could look it up, and you could, in Facebook, you can zip code market, put your property in front of these people. I want you to write a dreamy description too, by the way, about why it's, hunt on your own land, 20 acres, no one to bother you. Check this out, kind of a thing. And get it in all of those groups: zip code, hunting, outdoorsy, prepper, land focused, hiking, dream it up, fishing, whatever, get it in the right group. That's the best way. It's good. Yeah. Go up. I got this one. This one. Got this one. Brandon is closing a deal. Advertise, waiting on the wetland. Interesting. I love this group. You guys are having some chats in here with each other. Can't figure it out. Aha. Thank you. Scroll up. Okay. This is okay. So I have a hi, Dr. J. YouTube question, two-part question. What percentage of funding partners are women? What difference have you experienced, if any, between the two genders? I'm guessing the funding partners, Dr. J, I'm guessing you're talking about, well, I'll cover both. Who I fund, that's because that's the only way. So I fund, both. I guess most of the deals have been brought to me by men in the Land Academy community, but I do have several of you who are on this right now that I have done deal funding with. So the percentage, I'd have to say 70-30 men to women. And it's only just because I think that's the nature of Land Academy. I mean, even this business, this is one of the reasons I'm doing this today, as a matter of fact. In the world of real estate investing, not real estate, kind of always been a male-dominated world. I personally love that, and I'm here to change that. So I'm here to support, and I really want to promote women in business and women, specifically investors of any property type. And what differences have I experienced between the two? I guess more details. Women are really good. When my team, if I get times, and women will give me the details that I need to the questions, are really good at understanding and answering the questions. So excellent. Looking for a few more. Hey, hello, Marilyn. Nice to see you here in Facebook. She said, Land Academy, you've changed our lives. We've been doing the land business now for a few years, and we love it. Thank you so much. You're welcome. It's awesome. Brandon's more of a jack of all trades. Okay, got it. That answers the question. So that's good then, Brandon. Brandon has asked a few minutes ago about just find out what she wants to do and then grow from there, and give her those tasks and grow from there. This is so good. She likes the money. Oh, that's nice. That's the funniest thing. It hasn't happened in a while, but a few years ago when we first released Land Academy, I remember doing consulting calls with people that my wife's not into this. What do I do? How do I get my wife involved? Dollars. I don't care. That you are going to go out. You're going to, and everybody's agreed that this is your, investment to come back and show her what you can do with it. Taking to go, okay. And then if you do it like 5 more times, then she's really in. So that's really good. This is great. Okay, so on YouTube, I have this person wrote, Rachel Becknell says, can we eventually discuss how to find a mentor in this space and how to become a mentor to others once skilled? I really believe those connections help you level up faster. That is exactly why I am here right now today. I believe in helping you get better and learn more. I want to teach you to be a phenomenal investor, and then you can help somebody else. And in the meantime, you and I are going to go off, and all of us are going to do bigger and better deals together. That is the whole point here. So I love it. And so I encourage, this is only episode 1. I'm gonna do this every Tuesday, 3 o'clock, and I wanna know what you wanna talk about. Do you wanna talk about negotiating? Do you wanna talk about picking areas? So give me whatever it is that you wanna discuss. It doesn't have to be female focused at all. This is just my way of trying to steer it that direction to encourage women to be investors and do what I'm doing today. And it's easier for me to help, and I can help more people in this environment, and I'd rather help 50 people than 1 or 2 or 3. I can't, if I just go do 1 at a time, it's gonna take us a lot longer. So, and we all learn from each other too. This environment is great for us to bounce ideas off each other and learn from each other and ask questions and get answers from each other. Uh, and s and, so think of me. I'm happy to be your mentor. I've I've been a mentor for years, on a big I've been a mentor in a big picture, and we've been mentors on our podcast. We've been mentors on our weekly Land Academy member calls. I'm trying to even focus a little bit more and be more accessible. So, great question. Uh, and it does. I said something about it today. I wish it's so nice now with social media and the way we can connect and chat with each other and save each other hassle and money and energy and grief by, how do I pick a county? How do I do a dumb deed? How do I do this? It's so much better. Oh, this is good. So Jeff Patterson wrote, how this is in YouTube. How do you find investors to bring together the deal? That would be me. There's also 2 things that we did. S so within Land Academy and House Academy, I'm happy to fund deals all day long, and I know I sound like a broken record, to some of you, but we have 16 days left in the month. I have money to spend. I need to spend some money, so please bring me bring if you've got it, it's good. Don't just throw something at me, but if you got something good, you need you need to get funded. Nothing would make me happier than to fund your deal between now and the end of the year, because 'cause it'll really make sense financially and tax-wise. So, but the other thing I was gonna add is we created a while back, because I couldn't there's a lot of deals out there, and a lot of people in Land Academy have money too, some more money than I do. So we created Land Tank and House Tank. So, like, think Shark Tank, so landtank.com and housetank.com. Whereas members, you can put deals in there, and then they're picked up by other Land Academy members, because there are plenty of people on this call, in our community, in our online environment, trolling this right now, that are only investors. They do not wanna do the work. They don't care about how you download the data, pick the county, source the mail. They only wanna know that, wow, you just came up with a deal that, you're buying it for $35,000 and selling it for $80,000 because it's worth $100,000. They're like, "Sign me up. I've got the money right now. I'll wire it to you this minute," kinda thing. So that's where you find them. Let's see. This is good. So we talked a little bit about this. From YouTube, Atlantic Elite Team said, um, Robin says, "How do you pick an area? Most of the rural areas look the same." It's true. I pick them. I you know I pick them. They might look the same. I pick them based on the numbers I was talking about as far as not too many for sale, n I there's some attribute. When you're picking a property, you could think of this when you're picking an area. I'm looking for properties that have we used to have 4 A's and now they're 5 A's, and I'll tell you what this is. To make sure you're not gonna lose money on a deal, they need to have the 5 A's, especially when you're starting out. I want you to have all 5 A's. They are number 1, acreage, and rural vacant land, usually the big attribute. I had to think about that. What's good about it? Is it, dreamy views? Is it close to the Grand Canyon? Is it, a hunting property? For, um, shoot, affordability, acreage, attribute, access. It needs access. I should be able to drive right up to it, and trust me, I'll make your life easier, and I want legal and physical access. So that means there's really a road there, or I have an easement on paper showing that that's where the road goes, and I can at least get even if it's four-wheel drive, I'll take it, but I can get there. A dirt road's fine, but I want access. And then the 5th day, which we added this year, because it comes up now and then, is alive. I wanna make sure that the sellers, everyone that needs to sign, are alive and able to sign, because it'll make your life so much easier. Now and then we find properties that, you know, husband passed on and wife's got it, and it wasn't really put into her name, or the kids have a will, and they think that just because they have a will, I can just sign away. Actually, usually you can't. There's more to it. So if, grandma and grandpa are, grandma's making cookies right now because it's December 15th and grandpa's talking to you on the phone and says, "Yeah, we can we're both able to sign." That's your 5th day. Um, so use that when you're picking a county too. Think about those things because that's the stuff when you're doing your due diligence, that's your metric. All right. Ooh, this is a good one. Deanna K. I'm gonna read Deanna K's here. This is a long one. So Deanna K. put, "I'm in the middle of my first deal. It is in Beatty, Nevada. 54 acres for $250,000. Probably high, but the seller wants $100,000. Great access, tons of trails in nearby hot springs, Death Valley National Park." Okay, these are all attributes. You got the acreage, you got the attribute. Sounds like you got the dollar too, because it's so I'm guessing you're buying for 100 and it's worth 250. If that's what I'm reading, you should be running to the bank right now, Deanna. So let's see. "I just had a potential buyer. This man would just keep me on the phone as he was processing his decisions of buying this property or some other really cheap property that had nothing for access. Part of me felt like I was a woman and he just really wanted to talk and not necessarily going to buy the property. He did end up going on saying the search will go on because he's looking for really cheap property. Now I'm just waiting until the moment he feels right to potentially drop So waiting until the moment feels right to drop the price. Not sure what the question is that I'm asking, just sharing, curious of what might be up." I'm sure that happens. I'm sure that happens sometimes. But again, Deanna, I use that to my advantage. They can fall in love with you and want to sell from you and want to buy from you. Both are great. So, but I would say your time is valuable. Let them know that, and when it's going on too long with this gentleman, just say, "You know what? Uh, sounds like you've got a lot to think about. I will be here. Let me know when you make your decision, and, I'll make this real easy and fast, and you can be, you know, building or whatever it is, driving out, camping on it tomorrow," kinda thing, and move on. You sounds like you're figuring it out, and it does happen, and thank you for sharing that story. That was really, really good. Okay. I'm gonna kinda scroll down here and see, I think, 'cause we have some more new messages. Here we go. Call scripts, advertising. Oh, Ellen Britt, I'm glad you're gonna do that. I just signed up for the other closed call. I can't wait to be there. I couldn't make it. Okay. Look forward to seeing you next week. That'll be so much fun. Um, Sandy Land said, thank you so much for creating this. This is from YouTube. I'm a member in many groups. The way women are treated in the community and the community. Oh, thank you so much for creating this. I'm a member in many groups. The way women are treated in the community and by the community is sad. I'm sorry to hear that. Whatever groups you're in, Sandy, I'm here to change it. Whatever that is, we're here. We're here to help you. Whatever you need. Thank you, Jill. This is from Rachel Becknell in YouTube. Thanks, Jill. We hear your heart is in this, and we really appreciate your incredible efforts. Thank you very much. I have Claudia Cardozo from YouTube. Hi, Jill. Would love to know from a successful businesswoman and a mom, this is good, what advice you would give us to balance family and business. I can help you. I would do this. I just had a call a couple hours ago, and we talked about building your dream team. And let me back up. I have a group that's a few minutes ahead of this group. And that is one of the things that our top 3 pain points in our world is push. We identified like just getting rolling. So we talked about that last week. Today we talked about building a dream team, and then next we're gonna transition into balance and work-life balance and everything that you're talking about here, Claudia. One of the things that I would suggest is start building your dream team, not in your business even, but in your life. What can you outsource in your life that's going to make your day-to-day life and family and health and well-being better? For me, it was cleaning house. I couldn't do it, I don't like it. So I quickly found a way to maybe I work a little harder, but I make more money, obviously, in my business than I do cleaning house, so I hire someone to clean my house. I also am a fan of, babysitters, tutors, whatever you need as quickly as you can, and if you can't afford this, by the way, too, Claudia, find a way to job share it. Find a way to share the responsibility with somebody else to free yourself up so you can do this. And then in business, again, I want you to sit down and really think about, map out the jobs that you hate, the jobs that drain you, that take up your time, and outsource those as fast as possible, like today, whatever it is, whether it's answering the phones, keeping up with the social media. One of the things that we talked about today in my early group was how much energy it takes to keep up with buyers. And this is a good problem to have, by the way. Let me back up. This is the best problem on the planet to have. You have all this property, you're posting it for sale, it's all over the planet on social media. That's great. Oh, hold on a moment. Now I got 100 buyers that are asking me all these questions. That's a lot of work, and that can be draining. And there's ways to outsource that. So there's ways you can automate things and have automated questions. You can outsource, have other people answering questions for you very inexpensively. And it might be just something simple like using a VA, and we can help with all of that. So that's what I want you to do is get rid of some stuff, give yourself some free time. This is what I do. Get rid of it, create my own free time a little bit, and then start working a little bit ahead, and then life is golden. Just today, even today, I looked like a college kid. I looked like I was cramming for finals yesterday, preparing for this today. Because I started it last week, and I'm kind of a slow go at it, but it has to things have to marinate in my head a little bit when I'm doing presentations. I'm in my office, door closed, really focused on this. And and I was done, I don't know what time, but it was because I had done a little bit of chunks ahead of time. I was done actually way earlier than expected, and it felt so good because I kinda got ahe I just wanna say that I really appreciate the time, freedom, and financial freedom that Land Academy has helped us create. That's one of the amazing things that has developed with you and all of us at Land Academy. Who knew that we would be looking for ways to put food on the table in 2020? All of us. I know none of us could have predicted how this and fortunate enough, I have a phenomenal partner with me too that we can share and help you uh, pay the bills and do what you need to do and make money and still have a good life. We can do this. We set our own hours. That's the beautiful thing. I set my own hours. I can do it from wherever I need to, and we're all doing just fine. If anything, I would argue, and Liz knows this too, especially in the beginning as this was going down. I know a lot of us were worried, like, uh-oh, are we all going to be stuck with all this property? And then as it turns out, people are leaving cities by the masses and buying up all our property. So we're all standing around going, I need to buy more property. Well, good thing we know how to do this. So for many of us, investors, land investors, we've been, selling out faster and city, but they come. It's great because the planet can work from everywhere too now, by the way. Rachel wrote in YouTube here, great question, Claudia. Leverage. And it starts in the home. Oh, that's so good. Instead of saying, how can I get this done? Ask, who can help me get this done? That's it. I would argue too, here's I want this all to be positive about women, but there's one thing about women that we do that I'm not that we just do, and we need to get better at this. Sometimes it's like, why are we doing this? And it's funny. I have again, Stephen Jack Utala, my partner, the most wonderful partner on the planet in business and life. And he is constantly, correctly calling me out on things I shouldn't be doing. Why are you doing that? Why are you wasting your time on that? Does it really need to be that done like that? Does it need to be done at all? Does it need to be done that perfect? Do you need to spend that much time on it, kind of thing? And most of the time, this is all recorded. I know it's going to come back to me, but he's right. So I would say, everyone, do we need to do all that? We don't need to. We're good at wearing hats. Do we need to wear all those hats? Lean on people or get rid of it altogether. Great. I think this has been phenomenal. I'm so happy to be here. Before we end, I want to say a couple things. Number one, I am working on my own ebook, and it's going to be, I know there's a way in here that you can get our ebook, or I think my team's put in there. I'm working on my own version, a Jillified version. For those of you who haven't heard, I'm Jillifying it, the ebook, and it's going to be really cool with some of the nuances and the things that I do differently as a female real estate investor. And so I'm going to have that come out in the next couple of weeks. I'll have it out by the end of the year. So watch for that. And then number two, I want to know what you want to learn. So please, if if you don't, know off the top of your head right now, if you want to take some time, think about it, please come back in this chat and put there for my team and for me, what are your pain points? It sounds like, uh, man, outsourcing stuff, that might be a good one. And that's good for all of us. It doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, but I'm writing that down right now. So What is it that's keeping you from being at the next level or wherever you wanna be? Is it just getting started? Is it, picking an area? Is it knowing how to pick up a phone and have a conversation with someone to say, "I found a deal, I need the money"? Is it, deciding what to do? Deciding, "Gosh, I know I'm in this group with all these other successful women investors, and they're doing 6 different things. How do I know which is the right one for me?" And we can talk about that. So please give me some love, share with us whatever you wanna talk about, and I'll cover it. This is show number 1 of a daily podcast. Used to be 7 days a week. I talked Jack into 5 days a week. Whew, for our podcast. If you haven't ever listened to it, go check out the Land Academy show. It's a lot like this. Yeah, we do it on YouTube and then, everywhere you find podcasts. But who knew that we'd have how many, 1,500, 1,600, I don't even know how many episodes that we have now, but it's a lot. I have a lot to share, a lot to talk about. There's always something new, and I'm always learning something new, and I'm really happy and excited to be here and share that with you and help you, especially everyone, especially women investors. I am Jill DeWit. I am co-founder of Land Academy. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next Tuesday at this exact same time.